Trump's Department of Justice has officially indicted a sitting Congresswoman. Congresswoman LaMonica McIver from New Jersey is being indicted with a felony assault regarding the interaction that happened outside of the Delaney ICE Detention Center in New Jersey a few weeks ago. My name is Dina Doll with the Legal AF channel. Let's break this down. Now, many of you, I'm sure, remember the chaos from that morning. We have some footage. I'm going to show you some of that footage that day. But what essentially happened was a few of Congress people went to the detention center in order to take a look at it, go inside, see the conditions. We've been hearing about a lot of people getting snatched off the street and sent to detention centers in different states and really having no idea the conditions of what's been happening inside these detention centers. So the Congress people whose district, the state in which they represent, this detention center is, went there to review and look at it, to tour it, essentially. We know the mayor of Newark went there as well. And then what resulted was the Congress people were able to have their tour, but the mayor, they would not allow in. And in fact, they went to arrest him. And this created mayhem outside. A ton of people jostling around, a lot of people saying that, he shouldn't be arrested. And what Alina Habba has just announced, she is the acting U.S. attorney for New Jersey, certainly trying to make a name for herself here. She's indicting now this Congresswoman McIver with a felony assault. And let me just read from you the indictment so we can all be on the same page of exactly where they are going, because we know that the border czar, Trump's border czar, promised that they were going to start coming after officials in sanctuary cities. Well, here they go. This is officials that they're going after, because to actually be indicted with a felony assault for this is a whole another level. We keep crossing lines, creating new lines and crossing new lines. So the indictment says it is the count one is assaulting, resisting, and impeding certain officers or employees on or about May 9th, 2025 in Essex County in the District of New Jersey and elsewhere. The defendant, LaMonica McIver, did forcibly assault, resist, oppose, impede, intimidate, and interfere with a person designated in Title 18 United States Code, Section 1114, namely a Homeland Security Investigation Special Agent, as described in the complaint, while that officer was engaged in and on account of the performance of his official duties involving physical contact. So this is, let's just, right now, there's a lot of clips out there about this, but here's a clip from the body cam to show you kind of what they are saying was assault by her on this agent. Take a look. So the indictment specifies, because it has to, the type of conduct they are saying is an assault. And it's things like encircling the mayor, maybe pushing an agent, using forearms. They've mentioned that a few times, her using her forearms. This is what they are saying raises to the level of a felony assault against a sitting Congresswoman who was there to provide oversight for her constituents. And evidently, her forearms were so dangerous, they're indicting her for a felony assault. Like, you can see in that video how clear it was, all the jostling, all the people involved, the chaos. I mean, they talk about like not de-escalating the situation. They're the ones escalating the situation, creating like a mob situation where people are getting pushed and shoved and luckily nobody getting trampled. I mean, it was, the federal officers are creating actually quite a dangerous situation. So this is going to be very hard for them to prove. Let's just put that. I mean, here are the pictures that they are showing for what constitutes assault. And it's one thing to issue an indictment. It's one thing for Alina Habba to go out there and talk about this in the press. That makes news clicks and news items, and Fox, I'm sure, will run this again and again. But at the end of the day, this needs to be brought into court and proven in front of a jury, right? Every defendant has a right to a jury. And you are going to show the mayhem that was created, those videos, the pushing, the shoving, and try to convince a jury that that constituted assault. So that way they know that if they are ever in a crowded situation and they get pushed and shoved and there might be forearms involved, and they may be subjected to a felony. This is almost, I think, unwinnable in front of a jury. And I think that they know that. I don't think that's the point of it. The point of it is to weaponize the system, to scare people to obey in advance. Because now this Congresswoman, who is supposed to be doing her job for her constituents, has to hire a lawyer and defend herself and waste time and energy defending herself in an indictment. Even if she ultimately wins, it's her constituents that loses because she's there as a public servant. And now she's having to divert time and resources to fight an indictment that so clearly she will eventually win because the evidence is so lacking. But in the meantime, so if you're any constituents out there, this is a time to make your phone calls, right? Make it be known to people that you don't want your Congresswoman indicted on charges that are pretextual in order to make a political point, because there are real people involved. She was voted in to do a real job, and that is now being infected. But if people don't make that known, this is how Trump and the DOJ will get it over it again and again and again. And this becomes normal. And the next person gets indicted, and the next person gets indicted. But if you make a noise now, especially those constituents make a noise now, that not this time to my congressperson, then maybe we can make a difference. But just putting a light on what is happening, you know, I thought that the representative there that day spoke out so eloquently after what he saw.
How is this acceptable to anyone in this country? How is this acceptable? I fight along with these two incredible women every day for the people of New Jersey. We fight for the country that we should be. What we saw today is the country that we live in under Donald Trump and his Department of Homeland Security, under his ICE, does not reflect who we are as a country. It reflects everything wrong with the moment that we're in. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable and should shake every American to the core, to their core, to our collective core, that this happened today here in the city of Newark, the most inclusive city in New Jersey, with the mayor who represents the city, with the congresswoman who represents the city, and with Bonnie Watson-Coleman, who's fought for the people of New Jersey her entire distinguished career. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. And it should be unacceptable to every single person that's watching today. This will not be the end of it. It will not be the end of it when we leave here. It will not be the end of it when we go find Mayor Baraka. It will not be the end of it when we go home tonight. The fight continues. It will continue until we correct the course that we are on.
He saw his fellow congresswomen being assaulted. He saw them being assaulted. And who knows? Maybe they'll end up filing a suit for that assault. But he so eloquently said, well, we were all thinking when we were watching this body cam of how we don't want our public servants being treated that way when they're going to do oversight for us. And I imagine he will be in this fight with Congresswoman McIver as she tries to now fight this felony indictment brought by Alina Habba.
Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.